Hi everyone, welcome to Terrarium Workshops. So I'm going to first show you all of the different elements and ingredients that you need for a terrarium, and this is kind of how I do a workshop with a little description and also history of terrarium, which I'll show all that. I'll post that and just put that away for right now so we have some space. Also just a little bit of where terrariums came from and how to work with them and who was the first person that created them and all that other good stuff that I'm not going to get into right now. A couple of terrarium samples, but what I really want to show is how to create. So for example, the previous video that I showed was all the different designs, and now I'm going to show you all the different elements that you need to create a either open terrarium or a closed terrarium. So this is a moss design as I showed previously, and I'm going to show that in an empty container, and that's just using a variety of different mosses, different types of nature elements like stones and all types of goodies like that. This is another different type of similar nature moss jar, which I actually picked. Look at these things. Look how gorgeous these stones are. Do you see how they sparkle? Yeah, that's from the park. That was just on the ground in Central Park, one of my nature finds. How beautiful that is, just right? And these also I just found on the ground, but then the rest I purchased. Look how gorgeous that is. That could just kind of put, well, not in this container, but probably like a little bit of a larger open container. And there's just a bunch of different beautiful elements. I like to work with crystals. I want to make sure it's on. Also wildlife. I like to show different things with wildlife to promote and protect and respect wildlife. So creating different types of designs like I showed earlier. And then just some fun things like an electric car, electric motorcycle. So kind of put those things in and just do some fun stuff. A variety of different types of mosses. Also, sometimes I like to incorporate some synthetics, only because these are very long lasting. You don't have to do anything with them, and they can completely be repurposed and reused. Especially for New Yorkers where we travel a lot, you know, I don't like to maintain things that much, but like this generally, this cacti, I don't like to really use that when it's fresh. It's just really hard to work with, and it works really beautiful with the fresh succulents and cacti. And then the tools that you would need is like a brush, right? So you can just kind of clean everything. Spoon to dig everything out. These thongs so that you can kind of work around stuff. I have a few of those. And I also use actually like a toothpick, a chopstick, a large toothpick, and just kind of a shovel, right? And then all sorts of different containers. We're going to work with this one today, this beautiful open container, and also this container, which actually could be used for anything after, any type of jewelry or whatever. And then the closed terrarium, which I'm going to create a salt design. Really cool and fun. And this can do like a nature jar in there. Also, you can even just use a picture frame and create a moss frame from that. And that really is just bringing nature indoors. The whole concept, for me at least, of working with plants is bringing nature indoors and being surrounded by plants and nature elements. So let's begin. I'm going to put some of these things just on the side so we have space to work. All right. Yes. Okay. Now, I am going to use today the two beautiful yellow cacti. And then, there it goes, that's all right. And stay in there. And then some succulents, okay? That just made my beautiful clean space look dirty. I like to work with a clean space, so I'm going to just move this moss over as well. All right. So for the open designs, for the succulent and cacti designs, you're going to need cacti soil. So I'm using organic cactus soil. For the salt one, I'm actually just using regular Epsom salt, but we'll put that aside for right now. Last thing I want is that to fall. And as a base coat, you need any type of stones or really something to act kind of as a base. So I'm just going to use a bunch of these, and I'm going to put the charcoal, which acts as like it holds all the bacteria and the toxins and just This is really just so that all the water, when it goes in, it'll absorb the water and it won't make anything rot and just a little longer lasting. And then for just element decoration, I'm going to use some different sands. And then of course I'm going to decorate it with a couple of stones, which I don't know where are my stones. Oh, okay. I'm back. Some of these little mini stones is for some decoration. All right, so we will begin. Oh, I'm just going to show you. This is also a bunch of different kinds of mosses. Look at the different millions of colors, and you can actually make a really cool picture frame with that. That could be fun, or even just in here. You know what? I'm going to create that in here, and I'll show you how fun and easy that is to make. Or this kind of moss. It's really cool to work with. I'm going to create that with the salt. Just you can sort of work with that around. Fun. This is great to do as a family event with kids, yourself, single, date. I'm single, so I'll just think of what I can do. I mean, it's also just entertainment for yourself. You can literally just buy things. I even saw at Whole Foods. You can buy these. You can order online. Now that we're all sort of, well, soon in lockdown, maybe go outside if you don't live in the city and, I don't know, get it from your garden or just whatever you may have. But for right now, let me show you how to do this. All right, so let's begin. I'm going to, this is also make sure that it looks pretty on the bottom. So I'm going to put some of this whole load of these, peat moss, and just some stones. Don't really want to get my hands all dirty with black charcoal. So I'm just going to use the spoon. And I want to make sure that I have an adequate amount, a layer, so that it really is going to absorb the water. Although with cacti and succulents, you barely need to water it. I mean, especially in the winter or fall, maybe once every few weeks, like this amount. But in the summer, like once a week, and you know, they do like sun. I mean, I like to act as if how they are in their natural surroundings. So if you think about, oh, look at that, about cacti and their natural surroundings and other plants, then you probably might want to just do the same thing in terms of watering and in terms of how they like the light. So yeah, I would put these in somewhat of a light condition. Another reason, oh look at that. Another reason I also, you don't want to use the cacti or the succulents in a closed terrarium. That's going to die. They need air. Therefore, we'll only use it in an open. Okay, I love working with soil. First of all, soil is really good for you. I mean, it just gives so many health and wellness, well-being, better productivity, great for mental health, and even smelling the soil is good, but really touching it when you're grounding, right? What I mentioned earlier, so you're just grounding yourself, balancing. You want to put enough so that they have enough kind of space, but you know, this already has the soil, so you don't really need that much, but you definitely want enough for it to have a planter. Now I'm going to put these in the back. So let's put a little more, and that's about it. Probably like an inch of each layer. Okay, put that away. And now I'm going to start from the back. So, alright, turn that around. Place that like one. And generally, this one just doesn't want to stay in there. Generally, I kind of design first in my head and just sort of create it before I'm doing this. Probably that would be obvious, but currently, take one of these. I don't want to touch the head of that. Put it in the top, and I'm just going to put them sort of really close to each other. Okay, it doesn't want to stay, does it? This is when the tools come into play. So I'm going to use a thong for that one. I'm just going to get all of the soil. I might need a little more soil. Okay. A little more. Most important is that you want to then hold the cacti and the succulents in place, obviously. This one's like misbehaving. Okay. Alright, here we are. Now, so, there's like glare, you can't really see it, but okay, so it's kind of like that. And now I'm going to put these beautiful succulents just kind of beside it. Just going to take that out, and I'm going to put it right beside, making sure that there's enough soil around it. So gonna just put all the soil around, and don't worry if the soil gets on the cacti because we're gonna clean that up with our handy dandy brush. Okay, yeah, gonna clean that off already. Yeah, there we are. Super. Gonna put another one in there. I'm gonna put this one a little bit more forward. Yeah. Already looking good. I mean, that's just super simple already. Now, I also like to keep these because I'm going to plant some seeds after I'll show you, so you can always first start them in there. So I'm going to keep these. Now I'm going to use some of this imitation, which look how real that looks, and if you feel it, it's fantastically gorgeous. So I'm going to just cut that up because I don't really need all of that. Forgot my wire cutters. That wasn't too smart. Okay, here we go. And kind of just put it in the back like that. That looks very pretty. I'm going to use one of these as well because I want to just get a little bit more of a design in here. And that's already looking awesome. I'm probably going to need a little more soil in back of these just to hold these guys down. Soil in there, no big deal. It's organic, so. Okay, so I'm just cleaning it all up. Even though it doesn't really matter because I'm going to put sand on that. So, okay. Now, if I'm happy with that design until I put all the other elements, because I'm going to put the sand on top. But I mean, if you wanted to, you could totally have left it like this, right? For those that just like the soil design, which looks beautiful. But I am going to put some the different sands around it. All of a sudden it'll be like, wow, completely different. So I'm going to remove these because I just kind of wanted to see where that was going to be placed, because these are the ones that don't need to be in soil since they are not real. And we're just going to put now that around, if you see with a spoon. And first of all, look how quick, what am I at, like, 12 minutes, okay. But pretty quick. So a little more here. How beautiful this is already looking. Yeah, I'm playing a little bit with that in the sand and the soil, and that's totally fine to start off like this. If you see, I'm using the spoon to just kind of work around everything. And then I have another one which is a little smaller they can work with. And it's already kind of beautiful, just looking gorgeous. There's all different kinds of sands you could have just done with stones. You could have used white sand. There's also this is like a wet sand. So I'm going to put a little bit of that in there. You're going to see a little bit of a difference. Oh yeah, that's cool. Sometimes I actually like mixing the sands up, which is what I'm doing right now. So, okay, this is obviously not done. I'm going to just toss that a little bit so that I obviously want to cover all of the soil. And I'm going to put a little bit more right around here. And really, this is your own preference at this point. There really aren't any rules as to how to design a terrarium. It's really more the basics of the soil, the charcoal, the base, so that it stays well and that it is going to last a long time. All right, so there we are. Just a little more here. I wanted just it to be perfect. I want it completely covered with sand, so that it looks absolutely divine and beautiful, and the result that I want to see. So I have a mixture of different sands, the two sands. I don't want to see any soil at all. So, totally fine. Okay. There we go. Now, before I'm going to put all the other elements, I want to make sure that, first of all the soil is covered, which it's not yet, but it will be. I'm moving everything around right now so that I can see where I need to apply more of the sand. So pretty. And I love this vase. This is just, now this vase comes in a few different sizes, but okay, and this is kind of how you clean the whole vase. Now we're going to use the little ones so that we can get to places that I need. Where you kind of see the soil a lot. I don't want that. Okay, you can do this now either with your hands or with the brush. The brush is also, I use it to move the sand around and just move everything around. Okay. That is looking good. A little more sand here. There we go. And dropping over there. I want it super smooth. Yay. Martha Stewart, move over because here is Iris Rosen, Green Hour NYC. All right, we're good with the sand. And now I'm going to put my little elements back in place. So I'm going to put that right here, right in the middle. I don't know if you could see that. And I'm going to end up putting these beautiful just in the back a little bit. Oh, that's beautiful. Just want these beauties together a little bit more, like they are connected. Now I'm going to add a few more elements. I actually want, I'm going to put a shell right here. Oops. And I'm probably going to get a stone. Yeah, ooh, that's awesome. And I'm going to put a bark right in the back. Now, you know, it doesn't have to be this busy. It can actually be very, very zen. And this is still very zen because I like things with sand, which is zen. But sometimes I also like for it to just be slightly more proportional. And I want to just get a little more sand in here. I'm going to take a picture of this so you guys can see this when it's done. It's a little hard in the video. But I just want this to be perfect with the sand now that we have all the elements in place. And I do believe there we have it. Oh, let's just make sure that's clean. We are finished. Your open terrarium cacti succulent. Join me for the next one. Salt design with wildlife.